Welcome to the Siemens Partner Podcast, a podcast for partners to give some insight and perspective and dive into the world of Siemens. We will be discussing various issues, challenges and gaining insight from our esteemed guests. My name's Mark Guttridge, so let's get going. So, my first guest is Brian Holliday, MD for Siemens Digital Industries, and some people may not be aware, a doctor as well. So, Brian, welcome to the Siemens Partner Podcast. And how are you?
Well, first of all, thank you. And thank you for the invitation to come and spend some time with you and to have this opportunity to talk to our partners through a podcast. That's the first.
Okay, so get things going. I'm going to ask all my guests this question, and it's a little bit random. You're hosting a dinner party. There's 5 of you at the dinner party. You're one of the guests, one of the main posts, and you've got 4 people you can invite, either dead or alive, to the dinner party, but they must be famous. So who would you, and I've put you on the spot, but who would you like to invite?
Goodness me, you absolutely have. I think in terms of, can I have both Alistair Campbell and Rory Stewart?
Yes.
I think both of them. Mm-hmm. I love their podcast, The Rest is Politics. And I think for being current and good fun at a dinner party, I think they would be brilliant. I think it would be, you said dead or alive.
Yes, dead or alive.
So Margaret Thatcher, I'm going to throw her into the mix. This is a very political podcast all of a sudden. It? And I really ought to have someone from the entertainment sector as well, shouldn't I? I don't know, Matt Damon, I think he'd be really good fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a very diverse dinner party at this point, is it? But
more down the pub.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that, Brian. I appreciate that. So there's a few areas I wish to cover in our time we have together. And the first one is, what are Siemens' priorities in the UK at the moment?
Well, the Siemens UK priorities mirror the global ones, of course. Yeah. And, as a company, we are, an industrial technology company focused on digitalisation and sustainability. These are our 2 superpowers, if you like.
Yeah.
What that translates into for us is a sense of 4 strategic priorities in customer impact that you could imagine, empowered employees, technology with purpose, and growth mindset. And all 4 of those priorities are really trying to ensure that right across our organisation, we're thinking about the most important things that we should be doing. And I think for me, tech with purpose is an interesting one. What's the value we are creating for our customers through our technology? And it's one of the reasons, when you start to break the strategy down even more into where we're focusing, we're thinking much more about vertical markets. We're thinking about, what is our message to the food and beverage sector, the aerospace and defence, water, wastewater? So our strategy is very much to have a core technology set that enables, productivity through digitalisation, sustainability through our technology as well, but then to deploy that into regions like the UK or UK and Ireland as a bundle, where we really add value early to our customers by understanding their challenges. We articulate those in ways that, we demonstrate our technology can help. And so the strategy is to get all of the right resources in the right places with the right partners, to enable the earliest possible value add from our technology to our customers.
Right. Okay. So it's quite an in-depth what we're trying to do. Our priorities they're quite, so the mirrors the global ones as well. So what I'd also like to ask you about is your involvement with government and Made Smarter and all these, people I've seen you on LinkedIn and areas that you've been doing and promoting. So what's, what has your involvement been, from your level within Siemens?
I mean, one of the things that's been great in my 31 years at Siemens has been that sense that we go above and beyond immediate commercial interest to try and look at the sector challenges. And if you're going to drive growth in an economy, then you need to be focusing on innovation, infrastructure and skills. And I think we've always wanted to try and step up and have a market level view that we've wanted to contribute to government. So I've personally been involved in government conversations since 2010 with Vince Cable, with the Advanced Manufacturing Growth Review at that time. But I've tried to play a role, as I know Jürgen has before me, in the industry space, in helping to encourage government to think about manufacturing as an important sector and in particular, the uptake of technology in manufacturing, which we know lags other countries and our immediate competitors, if you like. The simple way to think of it is that if there were 4 industrial revolutions and we've been through the third one, we didn't do so well at that. So, could we embrace digital technology and do a better job of the fourth? So I've been involved in a number of ways. I've been a board member at the High Value Manufacturing Catapult, which is now a significant and long-standing investment from UK government. Many of you will know of the centres themselves because of their geography. The Manufacturing Technology Centre, the Advanced Manufacturing Research Centre, National Composite Centre in Bristol and so on. So these are a series of regional centres. So I've been proud and privileged to be able to help shape the last 7 or 8 years on the supervisory board of that organisation. I've had the chance as well to work with Make UK, one of the big 5 business representative organisations. Siemens were actually the first member in 1895. It's a collective. I know. I wasn't there then. It's a collective, bargaining, or it was a collective bargaining organisation back then. But today, of course, legal services and so on. But lobbying, it's very much championing the voice of manufacturing into government, and it's able to highlight, some of those big facts around our sector, like 2.6 million employees, the fact that we are 8th biggest in manufacturing output terms, and we overtook the French last year, and that 49% of the UK's total exports come from manufacturing. So they're really good at data collection and this sort of thing as well, but also lobbying. So I've been on the board of Make UK for about 7 years as well now, and that's still a current position that I hold, representing member interest at that organisation. But I guess the two big ones for me in the last couple of years have been Made Smart, where I've been able to co-chair the commission for manufacturing, and that's leveraged now since the autumn statement, the last major budget, £100 million we have secured now of funding that will take us through to 2030, that will enable small manufacturers in particular to benefit from grants of up to £10,000, visits from experts who can come and talk to those companies about automation, robotics, additive, AI, data extraction and exploitation, the sorts of digital tools that could really help them be more productive. So that's wonderful that we're able to roll that out. And finally, I know it does sound like a lot, but I was able to be the advanced manufacturing lead for the pro-growth and innovation, or the regulatory review paper that the Chief Scientific Officer put into the Chancellor back in November as well. And that was an opportunity to really talk about the importance of technology to the sector, the importance of digital twins, the importance of investing in areas like safety, where we need the support of our regulator, the health and safety executive, to try and support investment as well. But it's been great to be in a position to influence, and that's not because of Brian Holiday. That's because of Siemens, the brand that I'm really proud to represent in those forums. And right now we'll have a change of government coming up, probably in November. But what we've seen, at least since last November, has been an advanced manufacturing plan funded with somewhere in the region of £4.5 billion, including some of those measures I've mentioned. So it's been great to be involved to help influence what, to me, is an increasingly positive picture, a focus now on the manufacturing sector that we all work in and support.
Right. Okay. So no wonder it took me ages to tie you down for this. All this going on.
It's actually not. It's not too bad. It's quite straightforward to do some of that alongside the day job. And it's funny, actually, interestingly, that remote working and being able to dive onto a Teams meeting. Well, it doesn't make a lot of difference if you're doing one into Westminster for a government function, and then onto an internal one for Siemens. So actually, we're a lot more productive these days with remote working, aren't we, or hybrid working? Yeah,
very much so. I think I can see the benefits of it every day. So, at the last part of the conference that you attended and supported me at, we touched on sustainability, and it was quite a big topic. Has anything sort of changed in that area in the last 6 months or so from a sustainability perspective?
I guess for me, sustainability was always the future. The global, temperature increases, but it must be evident to everyone now that sustainability is today. And I think over the last 6 months, the imperatives become clearer. I think we're clearer about the role of technology and the role we have to play in working with companies to be more sustainable. So specifically for us, we estimate that 90% of our portfolio lends itself to a good sustainability outcome for our customers. If you imagine the sector that we work in, manufacturing or industry, represents over 25% of carbon emissions. That means we have a big role to play as industry. Yeah. And as Siemens, 1 in 3 machines globally features one of our control systems. Now, that's the extent to which we, have a role to influence. And I think in the last 6 months, it's become clearer to us, and I hope clearer to industry, that we have to do more. I think in Siemens, it's much clearer that we are focused on sustainability alongside digitalization, that we should be looking at sustainability as business, as should our partners. We should be selling the benefits of, being more efficient when we're using motors, using inverter technology, using control systems to switch things off, extracting and exploiting data to understand how we optimize better, simulating and verifying processes in digital simulation tools. All of these core technologies today will make a massive difference. And I would argue that, one of the most important things that we can do, and of course we have a software division, digital industry software, 85% of the carbon footprint of a product can be influenced at that design stage, the materials, the processes. And there's a number of ways in which we're working closely with customers to think about better ways of doing things and deploying tools, like simulation and software at a very early stage that can really make a difference. Mechanical wraps instead of heat shrinks, extruder technology rather than baking in the food and beverage sector where you've got low moisture, food product and so on. And so I think it's on us to do much, much more to have open conversations. And I say us, I mean us and our partner network, because, we're working together to try and solve some of these big challenges in industry that often relate to data, a better understanding of the art of the possible, and technology that can be always on to make a difference. So to my mind, this is an increasing imperative over the last 6 months that we have to do more with.
So do you find any sort of vertical markets or technologies are farther advanced than some others that we currently work and deal with?
There's a range of companies that are further advanced than others. I mean, there are those where, of course, if you are heating, cooling, moving, pressurizing, the sort of high energy activities that certain companies have to engage in, the foundation industries, for example, glass and steel, ceramics, and so on. Of course, there's much, much more concern about the cost of energy and of course, electricity being currently 4 times the cost of gas. So we're, having specific conversations with those sectors about how to decarbonize, but you're facing a less certain energy cost. But I would say that there's a broad spectrum of companies that are doing, that are at different levels of maturity in digital and sustainability technology adoption. I would say some of the larger companies are having more mature conversations with us. But, there are an awful lot that aren't quite sure how to even take a first step. And I think that's why it really matters that we're supportive of initiatives like Made Smarter that can help companies, particularly smaller companies, with the right language to go and talk about a business problem, not Industry 4. That doesn't necessarily resonate. It doesn't necessarily help. But we know that technology can make a difference. And at the other end, I think some of those advanced digitalization conversations have really been a root and branch review of how do you connect customer data to what your manufacturing plants could make. And that means thinking about supply chain, manufacturing capacity, logistics that follow, and even circularity and designing for disassembly at the end. And these are the sorts of things we're looking at in our own sustainability journey. So I think that, there is... that there's a broad spectrum which says for all of us working in this industrial digitalization space, we've got to jump in and challenge ourselves to make sure we are as informed as we possibly can be about what role technology can play when talking to our end customers. And it should stimulate a business conversation. There's value in that. It should be worth something to our customers.
Okay, so what we'd like to do is just hold it there now because, we've explored the first part, and I'd like to take a short break and then we'll come back for part two. Thank you, Brian.
Excellent, thank you.